Hello, welcome back. I am so glad you are here. So, today we are talking about something that's very important, and that is allowing our kids to move around, to wiggle, to jump up and down while they're trying to learn. So, we're talking about fidgets, fidget tools, and toys that help our kids deal with anxiety and help kids focus. So, if you've been a homeschool mom, if you've been a mom and you've been around, no doubt you are familiar with fidget toys. They come in a variety of forms, such as spinners and cubes and spiky balls and so much more. As a homeschool mom, no doubt you understand that for some kids, movement, fidgeting is how they learn best. As a working mom, though, some days it's important for your kids to focus on their homeschool work because you only have so much time in your schedule to sit down and teach them, right? So when you're doing homeschooling, there are times, there are lessons that you need your child to pay attention, to focus on you and what you are saying. And as a working mom, you know that you only have so many hours in the day and that some of those hours need to be used for homeschooling. And so, when I worked full time out of the house, I had a few hours blocked off each week for what I call seat work. So, seat work is homeschool work that they needed my children. I needed my children to sit down at the table or, to have their sole focus so I could teach them. And when your kids are like bouncing off the walls and running around, it can be a challenge. It can be a challenge to get them to settle down and focus. And so this is where fidget toys and fidget tools, it's a wonderful way to help your children cope with anxiety and to help them focus. You know, I still remember the first time I saw a fidget spinner in the wild. A young boy came running up to me at an event and he had this lime green spinner and he was like flicking it and flicking it, but he was telling me about something he was interested in. And he was going on and on about this, but I was distracted by the fidget spinner. I was like, what is that? How does it work? And so I dove into learning about fidget spinners and fidget toys. And I learned that fidget toys help and provide focus, right? So they redirect and relieve the stress and contribute to concentration in some people. Some people find that moving or spinning or handling an object can help soothe and calm them down. Now, one thing I want you to keep in mind as we're going through this is that what works for one child may not necessarily work for another. And, I have noticed that, all my years of dealing with children is that most children like to fidget in some form or another. You may have a child who has a pen or a pencil and they're doing this. The kid who's chewing on the end of the pencil, the kid who likes to hang upside down when you're trying to do math or reading aloud. I want you to know that that is perfectly normal. When I was in public school, we didn't have fidget spinners or fidget tools. I mean, we're talking like 20 years ago, right? But we had the kid that was always flicking the pen. And it was always the pen. I don't have one, but it was the pen with all the different ink colors. It came like with 4 or 5, and it was like click, 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 click. There's also the kids who flipped pencils around. And when you're in public school, this was not permitted. A lot of my other students in my class would get sent to detention for not paying attention because they were wiggling in their seat and they were, according to the public teachers at that time, they didn't realize that movement is how these kids learned. It's how they stayed focused. But, one of the things I absolutely love about homeschooling is that we can provide our kids with the tools they need when they need them. And for some of us, for some of our kids, those tools come in the shape of fidget toys. So I want to talk about how we use fidget toys for anxiety and focus. One of the reasons I started researching fidget tools outside the homeschool setting was when my youngest started to experience anxiety because of her medical situation. And as a mom, I wanted to find ways to help her cope with the stress, with the overwhelm, with the anxiety in a way that was healthy and that would work for her. And we have found that using different fidget toys along with coping tools have really helped. If you have a child that is showing signs of not being able to focus, paired with possible learning disabilities or learning difficulties, outside of a fidgety student, you may want to have your child evaluated for other learning challenges. Now, here are a few things that you want to consider when choosing fidget toys, okay? There are 4 or 5 of them. So if you do a quick Google search, you will be flooded with all these different options for fidget toys. Here are a few things to keep in mind, okay? So the first thing you want to keep in mind is the age of your child. When choosing a fidget toy for your child, the first thing I would recommend is knowing, keep their age in mind. So my youngest was a teen when we were looking for fidget toys. And we started with the fidget cube. Okay. And it worked for anxiety. It really helped her. But it also ended up causing anxiety in different situations. She said when she brought it out in a group of people, they would all like turn and look at her and be like, "Are you okay? What's wrong? Are you anxious? How can we help?" And they were well meaning. It also was like all the heads in the room came to attention, right? And so she's now in the spotlight, and that would spike her anxiety and it wouldn't really help. So we started looking for things that would be less noticeable, such as a worry stone, a fidget ring. She also has these keychains that are really cute. They just look like a keychain on her purse, and it's something that she can fidget with. For me, I find hair elastics. This is a coil elastic. I'm not sure if you can see it. And just going through, you'll often see me if I'm doing a live video because videos make me nervous. I'll be like playing with my necklace or using elastics, okay? If you have younger kids, note that the fidget toys, you want to realize that they're going to put them in their mouth, okay? So make sure that the younger toys that your kids are using are non-toxic. Make sure they're the right size so they're not choking size, because they are going to end up biting, sucking, chewing on them. You want to make sure that it's not going to cause a choking hazard. So stay away from fidget toys with small spiky balls, bouncy balls, anything with small removable pieces. The second thing you want to keep in mind is the durability. So, your kids are going to be anxious. They're going to be pulling, stretching, tearing them. So make sure that the toy, the fidget tool that you're using, can hold up. So when you're reading the reviews, which I highly recommend, make sure that the material that they're made of is a tougher material, plastic, metal. Amazon does a really good job of listing what they're made of. Look at the reviews and see what people are saying. Are they holding up to their kids? For example, these octopus pop fidget toys that we have, in the description, it says 100% safe, non-toxic for kids, lightweight, durable, not easy to damage. So those are the words you want to look for, okay? Number 3 is be aware of the environment that your child will be using them in. So if they're going to be using them in a public setting, like at a doctor's appointment or in a co-op or in a homeschool class, make sure they're quiet. So think things like Play-Doh, putty, or a ball that's quiet, right? As mentioned above, your child may want fidget toys that don't exactly look like fidget toys. So again, we use these, they're great. I use them in my hair, and then I use them to fidget. Another thing to keep in mind is, are they scented? So a lot of public places, they don't want scents, right? People have allergies. So hospitals, medical clinics, make sure that your scented Play-Dohs and putties don't go to those places. All right, so those are 3 things that you want to keep in mind. Now, where can you find these fidget tools? This is the last thing I'm going to share with you. And the best place to look for them is, I like to ask the people who are using them. So I will go to a homeschool community and I will say, hey guys, here's the situation. This is what I'm looking for. What are your top recommendations? And so Abigail, my hardworking admin inside my Facebook group, the Working Homeschool Mom Club by Jen McKinnon, she came in and she said, I'm looking for a fidget toy recommendations. She included the age of the kid, so teen. She talked about some of the things that she was looking for in the fidget tool. So when you're asking for help, make sure you provide as much information as you can. How old is the child? What do they like to do? So in her case, her son liked to scrape off wax off crayons. So this was important because then we could make recommendations that went along with that. So, we're looking at, I think they're called scratch rocks, picky stones, that type of thing would be more helpful for the child who likes to scrape and wreck things. Those scratch pads, that type of thing. So you want to ask people who are using them, go ahead and check Amazon, but read the reviews. Seriously, like look for reviews online so that you can see, do these toys hold up? What do they look like? What size are they? What are they made of? And you want to ask people who understand. If you're looking for a full list, go ahead and click the description in this video. I'm sharing 24 great, affordable, homeschool-friendly fidget toys. These toys are all picked by working moms who are homeschooling, and they're great for all ages and stages. And they go from things like poppets to balance boards. You'll find direct links, everything that you need. So I hope that this has helped you understand that fidget toys can be an amazing tool to help your kids deal with anxiety and help them focus when you need them focused during the homeschool lessons. If you use fidget toys and fidget tools in your homeschool, I would love to know, what are you using? Go ahead and leave me a comment. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you found this episode helpful, I'd encourage you to join the Working Homeschool Mom Club on Facebook. It's a free online space for working homeschool moms who are currently looking for encouragement, support, and inspiration to help figure out what your working homeschool mom life might look like.